Hi, good evening, everybody. I will discuss this topic research ethics in neuroscience. First, let's start with Do No Harm by the Greek physician and scholar Hippocrates. The Hippocrates, he set a standard for ethical behavior in the sciences that has certainly stood the test of time. So, during sa panahon pa ni Hippocrates, no, hanggang ngayon, ginagamit pa rin yung standard for ethical behavior niya. Sa kanya nang galing yung quote na do no harm. Sabi nga sa book, as to diseases, make a habit of two things to help or at least do no harm. I shared here the Hippocratic Oath. Ito yung oath ng mga doctor, no? I highlighted this. Yung sa una, I will use my power to help the sick to the best of my ability and judgment. And then yung naka-highlight, I will abstain from harming or wrongdoing any man by it. So sa pagpapractice ng medicine, yung sa Hippocratic Oath, umiiwas sila para para umiiwas makagawa ng masama sa kanilang mga activities. So itong do no harm, it's not just in medicine siya ina-apply. So it's also applied in all aspect of our lives, kahit sa education, kahit sa even in politics, no? Yan yung sinaayan yung kay Hippocrates. Okay, question. Suppose we really want a drug or a medicine that could actually help in motivation. If you remember in sa class natin na if there's one thing na sana may ma-produce a product, maybe they could produce a drug or a pill that can motivate a person. Ang tanong, would you volunteer to be a part of this experiment? Ang pangalawang question, would you volunteer or not? Pangalawa, if not, kung ikaw ay may alagang pusa, aso, or rat or rabbit, would you volunteer your pet to be subjects of this experiment? So, at tingnan natin kung if you really want, if you're the researcher ng ganitong product and you want to conduct this study, ano bang mga kailangan natin gawin? Ano ba yung mga ethics behind this, behind conducting an experiment? Okay, these are examples of unethical experiments in psychology. Now we have electroshock therapy on children by Dr. Loretta Bender. So yung ginagawa niya, yung mga bata, no, sinashock niya. Um, I'll read this now. Dr. Bender chose her patients through an interview process which included applying a small bit of pressure to a child's head as they sat in front of a large group. Any child who moved with the pressure, asserted Dr. Bender, was showing early signs of schizophrenia. So ang gagawin niya, ito daw mga bata na kapag hinawakan niya yung pagka pinrest niya yung ulo, tapos biglang gumal. Para ng sen gamit mga project niyo for electroshock therapy. Itong mga bata na pwede mag-resist dun sa pressure na ginagawa niya. And then sabi rito, her contemporary peers reported that she never showed any kind of sympathy, hindi man lang naawa towards the children. So today, itong mga ganito, ang ethical na to, hindi to mapupush na makandak ang study. Next, on animal research, we have learned helplessness experiment ni Martin Seligman in 1965. Ano to? The purpose of the experiment was to see how control could be perceived and if helplessness could be taught. Ginawa dito ni Seligman, ano siyang aso nilagay ng and divided down the middle by a low barrier. Tapos sinashock niya. Painful, no, yung shock. yung aso dun sa kabila. Tapos puwedeng mag-escape yung aso by jumping over the barrier. Not eto nakalagay, "Not surprisingly, every dog quickly learned that if he jumped to the other side of the box, he could avoid yung shock." Pero ang nangyari, hindi niya hinayaan na yung aso ay makatalon sa kabila. So, ang nangyari, natutunan ng aso na wala siyang magagawa sa kondisyon niya na wala siyang kontrol dun sa pagsho-shock sa kanya, hindi rin siya makaka-escape. So, what happened is natutunan na niya yung helplessness, na kahit ang ginawa in the next, stages, binaba na yung barrier sa gitna na talagang puwede na siyang makawala or maka-escape, ma-avoid niya yung shock, pero hindi na niya ginawa kasi nga natutunan na niya maging, helpless. Okay, so if ever you're the experimenter and then you want to really know, like if you are making yung drugs on motivation, ito yung mga kailangan mong take into consideration when doing that research. Una, meron tayong tinatawag na, this is in America, no, federal government and common rule. Currently, protection for research subjects in the United States begin with the federal government and the common rule. 'Di ba sa gobyerno ng Amerika, yun yung federal yung government nila, tapos halimbawa kung dito sa Pilipinas, halimbawa if RTU, it's a state university, we get our budget from DBM sa gobyerno. So if we, faculty or student, we want to conduct a research, dadaan ito sa ethics board. May ethics board ang IRB, no? May IRB or ethics board ang RTU para may humaharang or may nagre-review ng mga researches. Hindi pa 'to implemented sa undergraduate pero sa faculty ginagawa siya. Sa mga masteral gagawin din siya. To check kung anong klase, kung ethical ba yung mga methods na ginagawa ng mga teacher at saka ng mga students. So kung sa Amerika, they have the federal government and common rule. So, gobyerno, tapos common rule. What's this common rule? In the next slide, eto no, I checked this in the internet. Etong 2018 na common rule, meron siyang, eto like for example, Title 45, ang under nito ay Public Welfare for the Department of Health and Human Services. And then Part 46, kasama doon yung protection of human subjects. So marami nakalagay dito sa documents na to. May mga, andito yung guidelines kung paano gagawin to protect subjects. Okay? So next, that's the first stage, no? Federal government and common rule. The second is the Institutional Review Board. What is this Institutional Review Board? A second tier of review occurs at the level of the university at which the research is to take place. So kung sa RTU ba yan, PNU, State University, Ateneo, LaSalle, UST, UP, each university conducting research, whether by students, faculty, or full-time researchers, has separate institutional review board or IRB for human and animal research. Ito na yung sinabi ko rin kanina, si RTU ay may IRB. So, sinong member ng IRB? They are composed of faculty members with expertise in the appropriate areas, plus at least one faculty member from a non-science discipline. May isa pa. Additional, the boards include a community member so that the university is not simply policing itself behind closed doors. So, pwedeng magsama ng mga stakeholders, barangay captain, konsehal, somebody from the community to check what kind of researches ang ginagawa within the university. And then for the final stage, kung hindi ka naharang ng federal government and common rule, nakalusot ka rin sa institutional review board, walang na-check ng experiment mo, gumamit ka ng human participant, may nasaktan, gumamit ka ng animal as na in your research, nakalusot din. Kung ipapublish mo to, haharangin ka rin, no? research for publication. This is the final stage when the investigator submits his or her research for publication. Reviewers of the work will also scrutinize the ethics of the work before approving it for publication. If you conducted an experiment and then natapos mo na siya, kasama dun sa publication is detail of the ethics. Paano mo isinagawa ang informed consent, yung confidentiality, yung no coercion, dun sa mga human subjects mo. Okay, although the stage occurs too late for the protection of the individuals who have already participated in the project, huli na kasi dapat sa umpisa lahat ng mga ethics, no? Failure to gain publication due to non-compliance with ethical standards will usually be enough of an incentive to prevent further mistakes on the part of the researcher. So kung hindi napayagan na i-publish yung research niya, next time na gagawa siya ng research, kailangan na niyang i-take into consideration ang research ethics. Okay, next we have ito yung ethical standards for human participants. We have no coercion, informed consent, and confidentiality. If we're talking about no coercion, we cannot coerce people or mamilit ng mga estudyante or individual into serving as research participants, either for course credit, sinabihan ka ng prof mo, or incentive, binayaran ka, nag-participate ka sa pag-survey in the Facebook, tapos may reward, may raffle, no, bibigyan ka ng 100, 200, ganyan. That is unacceptable. Dapat at your own will, it's always voluntary. Walang sapilitan sa pagiging research participant. But here, we're talking about experiments. No, halimbawa, yung sa tanong ko, ikaw ba papayag ka ba na nag-develop ng drugs on motivation? Ikaw ang gagawin na human participant. Siyempre, no, hindi pwede kang pilitin. Pero sa mga survey, like, I also ask students to answer survey, but that's not compulsory. Pero here, we're talking about yung no, may drugs na info, pwedeng may pain, or pwedeng may effect after niya. According to the book, although we recognize as psychologists that people who volunteer for research, iba, no, yung may mga open for volunteer for research, iba naman yung ibang tao who don't volunteer. So, may limitation talaga yung mga research natin. We cannot generalize that to everybody kasi yung mga nagvo-volunteer lang ang nagiging research participants natin. So, coercion, bawal mamilit ng mga research participants. And then if you want to give incentive like money, hindi rin siya pwedeng excessive or inappropriate. Bibigyan ka ng kotse, ng cellphone, no, in exchange na i-check nila yung kidney mo. Hindi, joke. Parang ganon. Next, we have informed consent. Research participant must be informed sa umpisang-umpisa pa lang that they can leave the experiment at any point in time without penalty. Halimbawa, naibigay na sa'yo yung incentive sa'yo, may incentive ka, 1,000 for participating. Nalaman mo, you feel discomfort during the research experiment. O pwede kang mag-withdraw. Dapat nasabi na rin yon sa unang-una pa lang that they can withdraw in the experiment. And it should be voluntary and free to participate. Okay? Next, we have confidentiality. Okay. I hope informed consent is clear. If informed consent, meron niyang written form. May agreement yan, no? You can withdraw at any time if you feel discomfort. Ayaw mo na, pwede kang mag-withdraw. The process of the experiment will also be explained to you, no? Magstay ka ng 1 week dito sa hotel. bibigyan kita ng pill na develop namin for motivation. 1 week mo siyang iinumin every night. Tapos ire-record namin kung ano yung nararamdaman mo, mamo-motivate ka ba, o ganyan. So, nakalagay do'n na mag-stay ka sa hotel, may papainom sa'yo, ganyan. That's the, disclosure. And then, yung document na yun, it should be understood and written na kayang maintindihan siya ng, high school graduate. Also, yung purpose ng experiment or any risk dapat naka-indicate din doon. Plus, yung mga contact information kasi halimbawa iiwanan nga kita do'n sa hotel, 'no, yung contact information ng mga researcher dapat nakalagay din do'n. Plus lastly, 'no, yung confidentiality, hindi puwede na you can identify the people who participated in an experiment. That should be kept confidential. Anything that happened during the experiment is confidential. Halimbawa may nag-breakdown, napahiya ka, 'no, it should not be divulged to anybody. Okay, next we have, eto na example ng informed consent process. Nakalagay dito, informed consent is the process of telling potential research participants about the key elements of a research study and what their participation will involve. Ayan, meron din dito, the human subjects in your project must participate willingly, walang pilitan. At na-inform sila sa lahat ng aspect ng research. Kung yung subject mo is a member ng vulnerable populations like prisoner, cognitively impaired individuals, or children, may special protection na kailangan. And then, kung bata naman talaga, no, kailangan ng parents' consent na magpa-participate yung kanilang mga anak. Okay, for animal subjects, earlier in the slide, I asked you, so kung kayo, papayag ba kayo na to take the experiment on the motivation pill? So, halimbawa, hindi kayo pumayag. O yung alaga nyo na lang. Yung pusa mo, yung aso mo, yun na lang yung pag-aaralan natin. So, before agreeing to that experiment, ito yung mga guidelines for animal subject. Unang-una, the first provision for the protection of animal subject relates to necessity. Kailangan ba talagang i-conduct yung experiment natin on motivation? Diba? It should have, sabi ni American Psychological Association, animal research should have a clear, specific, scientific purpose. Anong purpose natin? Bakit tayo gagawa ng experiment ng pill on motivation? Sino bang, gaano ba kadaming tao ang makikinabang if we have that kind of pill? Hindi ba pwedeng sa tao na lang yan gawin? Sa animals ba natin siya gagawin? Ba hindi pa natin alam kung anong tamang mixture nung pill. Meron ba 'tong like, adverse effect na hindi maganda, 'di ba? So, yung scientific purpose, does it increase our knowledge of behavior or improving the health and welfare of humans or other animals? Eh, paano pala kung yung ginawa natin na pill on motivation, iba pala effect niya dun sa mga hayop, 'no? Sobrang na-motivate siya, nagtatakbo siya ng nagtatakbo. 'Di ba parang drugs tapos namatay pala siya kasi hindi siya tumigil na tumakbo, sobrang motivated. Okay, that's just an example. Okay, so the knowledge we gain should in conducting the experiment should balance and justify the use of animals. The species used should be appropriate to the task. Okay, if the same questions can be asked without using animals, the alternate method should be used. Pangalawa, if we're conducting animal research, we should have excellent food, housing, mm, no? Food, housing, and veterinary care. Maganda ang kung nakakulong siya, maayos ang kulungan, hindi yung nagsisiksikan sa kulungan, pinapakain natin siya, pinapa-check-up din natin yung mga animal subjects natin. We care for their well-being, eh, 'no? Oo, we care for the well-being din ng mga animals, hindi yung komot animals lang sila ay binabalewala natin sila, hindi pinapakain, hindi maayos ang litrato tapos kapagka tapos na yung experiment 'no, patay na, 'di ba, parang dini-dispose na lang yung mga body nila. Okay, so regular checks-up by veterinarians and inspections, dapat may inspection din ng veterinarian. And then titignan din natin 'no, dapat yung nagha-handle sa animals, they are extensively trained regarding the typical behaviors of the animals. Like halimbawa nga na-develop talaga natin yung pills for motivation ta's binigay natin sa aso ta's yung aso nangagat. Oh, 'di ba? Kargo natin yun pagka ginawa yun ng mga aso. Finally, no, avoidance of pain and distress. Experimental procedures should cause as little pain and distress as possible. Okay, animals are generally used when procedures are not acceptable for human participants. Usually, mga makeup, ginagawa siya sa mga rabbit, no, sa mga balat ng rabbit. Kawawa naman yung mga rabbit, little pain, no? Tas distress, nasusunog yung mga balat nila, yung mga mukha nila. Tas nakatali pa sila, ilang araw silang, halimbawa, nilublob sa tubig, no, yung mga ganyan. Parang hindi na siya, ano, experiment, parang torture na siya. Okay, the American Psychological Association guidelines include provisions related to the use of pain, surgery, stress, and deprivation with animal subjects as well as to the termination of the animal's life. Naka-indicate lahat yon sa APA, yung guidelines, kung paano ang dapat na tamang gawin sa mga nag-experiment sa animals. May mga individuals and groups na they object to the notion that research that is considered unethical with human is acceptable when animal subjects are used. Okay lang kung yung mga hayop, 'wag lang yung mga, tao 'no, may mga individual or groups na gano'n. Although this is still debatable. Okay, meron din namang mga animal welfare na against human experiments din. Okay, no, these are example 'no, of animal experiments. Would you if you have your pet 'no, hahayaan mo ba na gagawin sa kanila yung mga ganito, yung tinusok yung ulo nung ano, pusa. Tas ito siguro yung mga rabbit 'no, nagche-check ng, new makeup, mascara, rabbit ang gagamitin. Eto naman 'no, yung recent na bagyo ng Karina, yung sa San Juan Pound 'no, nalunod yung mga animals, iniwan nila na nasa kulungan, namatay tuloy, nalunod. No, we condemn the obvious neglect suffered by these animals and call upon San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora to hold accountable those in charge of the pound. Kung nasubaybayan ninyo itong balita na 'to, pina-dismiss yung mga accountable, those in charge dito sa pound. May nabigyan na ng hustisya itong mga aso at saka mga pusang nalunod nung bagyo. Okay, so that's all. Plus, I hope you remember all of this, no? Pwede niyo rin namang basahin yung book natin. Thank you very much.